Chapter 13, Water-Soluble Vitamins, Screencast 5. This screencast will actually be covering 3 separate B-complex vitamins. The first is pantothenic acid, which is also known as B5, biotin, and B6. The first one that we're going to look at is pantothenic acid. And once again, if we look at a lot of the sources, many of them are meat-based proteins, but also we look at reinforced or enriched cereals, such as Total Raisin Bran. The functions are basically, it is especially essential for the formation of acetyl-CoA. It forms part of the acyl carrier protein by attaching to fatty acids and shuttling them through the metabolic pathway. Deficiencies are very rare, and symptoms associated with pantothenic acid deficiency include headache, fatigue, impaired muscle coordination, and an upset GI tract. The next will be biotin. And once again, if we look at biotin, looks like most proteins are really good sources, especially chicken liver. And here we actually see chicken nuggets accounting for about 195% of the AI for men and women. Now, other sources would be wheat germ and also some cheeses and milk. Biotin functions as a coenzyme for carboxylase enzymes. It is required for metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. It binds to proteins that help DNA fold in the cell nucleus, so it helps really maintain gene stability. Deficiencies are rare, but may occur with genetic defect of biotinidase production. If we look at raw egg ingestion, avidin, that will bond to biotin and make it difficult to absorb. The last vitamin that we'll be looking at is vitamin B6. Here we're basically looking at families that are made up of 3 compounds, pyridoxal, pyridoxine, and pyridoxamine. If we look at good sources, once again, we see pinto beans. We also see turkey nuggets in this case. And the best source is actually oatmeal. And please note that this is not fortified, and it accounts for over 190% of the RDA for males and females. Now, where vitamin B6 is especially important is in the transaminase enzyme pathway. So this is basically how the body will actually make some amino acids from other amino acids. So actually remember that reaction that we talked about previously when we're talking about proteins as far as transamination reactions. Now, if we look at the functions that are associated with B6, they include the synthesis of heme, histamine, and a number of neurotransmitters such as serotonin, which is going to come from tryptophan, dopamine and norepinephrine from tyrosine, and also gamma anabutyric acid, known as GABA, from glutamic acid. Deficiencies are very rare, but symptoms would include seborrheic dermatitis, microcytic hypochromic anemia, convulsion, depression, and confusion. There is evidence that B6 has actually been used in the treatment of carpal tunnel syndrome, premenstrual syndrome, and also used for nausea that occurs during pregnancy. There is limited research supporting the use for carpal tunnel syndrome and nausea during pregnancy.